Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshianu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehiot or lagoim v'natan lanu et Yeshua Meshikianu haor haolam. Amen. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us by thy commandments and has commanded us to be a light unto the nations, and has given us Yeshua the Messiah as the light of the world. Amen.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vayed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bakar Banu Mekol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Bless the Lord, the Blessed One.
Bless the Lord, Blessed One, for all eternity.
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has chosen us from all peoples and given us his Torah. Blessed are you, O Lord, giver of the Torah. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. I will be reading two parashahs today. The first one is Hukkat, and the second one is Balak. Parashat Hukkat, and it's the 39th parashah of this cycle, and can be found in Numbers chapter 19, verse 1 through 22, verse 1. Adonai said to Moshe and Aharon, "This is the regulation from the Torah which Adonai has commanded. Tell the people of Israel to bring you a young red female cow without fault or defect, and which has never borne a yoke. You are to give it to Eleazar the Kohen. It is to be brought outside the camp and slaughtered in front of him. Eleazar the Kohen is to take some of its blood with his finger and sprinkle this blood toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. The heifer is to be burned to ashes before his eyes. Its skin, meat, blood, and dung is to be burned to ashes. The Kohen is to take cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet yarn and throw them onto the heifer as it is burning up. Then the Kohen is to wash his clothes and himself in water, after which he may re-enter the camp, but the Kohen will remain unclean until evening. The person who burned up the heifer is to wash his clothes and himself in water, but he will remain unclean until evening. A man who is clean is to collect the ashes of the heifer and store them outside the camp in a clean place. They are to be kept for the community of the people of Israel to prepare water for purification from sin. The one who collected the ashes of the heifer is to wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. For the people of Israel and for the foreigners staying with them, this will be a permanent regulation. Anyone who touches a corpse, no matter whose dead body it is, will be unclean for 7 days. He must purify himself with these ashes on the 3rd and 7th day, then he will be clean. But if he does not purify himself the 3rd and 7th days, he will not be clean. Anyone who touches a corpse, no matter whose dead body it is, and does not purify himself, has defiled the tabernacle of Adonai. That person will be cut off from Israel, because the water of purification was not sprinkled on him. He will be unclean. His uncleanness is still on him. This is the law. When a person dies in a tent, everyone who enters the tent and everything in the tent will be unclean for 7 days. Every open container without a cover closely attached is unclean. Also, whoever is in an open field and touches a corpse, whether of someone killed by a weapon or of someone who died naturally, or the bone of a person or a grave, will be unclean for 7 days. For the unclean person, they are to take some of the ashes of the animal burned up as a purification from sin and add them to fresh water in a container. A clean person is to take a bunch of hyssop leaves, dip it in the water, and sprinkle it on the tent, on all the containers, on the people who were there, and on the person who touched the bone, or the person killed, or the one who died naturally, or the grave. The clean person will sprinkle the unclean person on the 3rd and 7th days. On the 7th day he will purify him. Then he will wash his clothes and himself in water, and he will be clean at evening. The person who remains unclean and does not purify himself will be cut off from the community, because he has defiled the sanctuary of Adonai. The water for purification has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. This is to be a permanent regulation for them. The person who sprinkles the water for purification is to wash his clothes. Whoever touches the water for purification will be unclean until evening. Anything the unclean person touches will be unclean, and anyone who touches him will be unclean until evening. The people of Israel, the whole community, entered the Sin desert in the 1st month, and they stayed in Kadesh. There Miriam died, and there she was buried. Because the community had no water, they assembled themselves against Moshe and Aaron. The people quarreled with Moshe and said, "We wish we had died when our brothers died before Adonai. Why did you bring Adonai's community into this desert, to die there, we and our livestock? Why did you make us leave Egypt, to bring us to this terrible place without seed, figs, grapevines, pomegranates, or even water to drink?" Moshe and Aaron left the assembly, went to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and fell on their faces, and the glory of Adonai appeared to them. Adonai said to Moshe, "Take the staff, assemble the community, you and Aaron, your brother, and before their eyes tell the rock to produce its water. You will bring them water out of the rock, and thus enable the community and their livestock to drink." Moshe took the staff from the presence of Adonai as he had ordered him. But after Moshe and Aaron had assembled the community in front of the rock, he said to them, "Listen here, you rebels. Are we supposed to bring you water from this rock?" Then Moshe raised his hand and hit the rock twice with his staff. Water flowed out in abundance, and the community and their livestock drank. But Adonai said to Moshe and Aaron, "Because you did not trust in me, so as to cause me to be regarded as holy by the people of Israel, you will not bring this community into the land I have given them." This is Meribah spring, where the people of Israel disputed with Adonai, and he was caused to be regarded as holy by them. Moshe sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. "This is what your brothers Israel says. You know all the troubles we have gone through, that our ancestors went down into Egypt. We lived in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians treated us and our ancestors badly. But when we cried out to Adonai, he heard us, sent an angel, and brought us out of Egypt. Now here we are in Kadesh, a city at the edge of your territory. Please let us pass through your land. We will not go through fields or vineyards, and we won't drink any water from the wells. We will go along the king's highway, not turning aside either to the right or to the left until we have left your territory." But Edom answered, "You're not to pass through my land. If you do, I will come out against you with a sword." The people of Israel replied, "We will keep to the highway. If we do drink the water, either we or our livestock, we will pay for it. Just let us pass through on foot. It's nothing." But he said, "You are not to pass through." And Edom came out against them with many people and much force. Thus Edom refused to allow Israel passage through its territory, so Israel turned away. They traveled on from Kadesh, the people of Israel, the whole community, arrived at Mount Hor. At Mount Hor, by the border of the land of Edom, Adonai said to Moshe and Aharon, "Aharon is about to be gathered to his people, because he is not to enter the land I have given to the people of Israel. Inasmuch as you rebelled against what I said at the Meribah spring, take Aharon and Eleazar his son, bring them up to Mount Hor. Remove the garments from Aharon and put them on Eleazar his son. Aharon will be gathered to his people, he will die there." Moshe did as Adonai had ordered. They went up onto Mount Hor before the eyes of the whole community. Moshe removed the garments from Aharon and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aharon died there on the top of the mountain. Then Moshe and Eleazar came down the mountain. When the entire community saw that Aharon was dead, they mourned Aharon 30 days, the whole house of Israel. Then the king of Arad, a Canaanite who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel was approaching by way of Atarim, so he attacked Israel and took some of them captive. Israel made a vow to Adonai, "If you will hand this people over to me, I will completely destroy their cities." Adonai listened to what Israel said and handed over the Canaanim, so they completely destroyed them and their cities and named the place Hormah, complete destruction. And they traveled from Mount Hor on the road toward the Sea of Suf in order to go around the land of Edom. But the people's tempers grew short because of the detour. The people spoke against God and against Moshe. "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to die in the desert? There's no real food, there's no water, and we're sick of this miserable stuff we're eating." In response, Adonai sent poisonous snakes among the people. They bit the people, and many of Israel's people died. The people came to Moshe and said, "We sinned by speaking against Adonai and against you. Pray to Adonai that he rid us of these snakes." Moshe prayed for the people, and Adonai answered Moshe, "Make a poisonous snake and put it on a pole. When anyone who has been bitten sees it, he will live." Moshe made a bronze snake and put it on the pole. If a snake had bitten someone, then when he looked toward the bronze snake, he stayed alive. And the people of Israel traveled on and camped at Ovot. From Ovot, they traveled and camped at Eye HaAvarim in the desert fronting Moab on the east. From there, they traveled and camped in Wadi Zered. From there, they traveled and camped on the other side of the Arnon in the desert. This river comes out of the territory of the Emori, for the Arnon is the boundary between Moab and the Emori. This is why it says in the book of the Wars of Adonai, Vahev at Sufa, the valleys of Arnon, and the slope of the valleys extending as far as the site of Ar, which lie next to the territory of Moab. From there they went on to Beer. That is the well about which Adonai said to Moshe, "Assemble the people, and I will give them water." Then Israel sang this song: "Spring up, O well, sing to the well, sunk by the princes, dug by the people's leaders with a scepter with their staffs." From the desert they went to Matana, from Matana to Nachliel, from Nachliel to Bamot, and from Bamot to the valley by the plain of Moab at the start of the Pisgah range, where it overlooks the desert. Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Emori, with this message: "Let me pass through your land. We won't turn aside into fields or vineyards, and we won't drink any water from the wells. We will go along the king's highway until we have left your territory." But Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his territory. Instead, Sihon mustered all his people and went out into the desert to fight Israel. On reaching Hukkat, he fought Israel. Israel defeated him by force of arms and took control of his land from the Arnon to the Yabok River, but only as far as the people of Ammon, because the territory of the people of Ammon was well defended. Israel took all these cities. Israel lived in all the cities of the Amori, in Heshbon and all its surrounding towns. Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amori, who had fought against the former king of Moab and conquered all his land up to the Arnon. This is why the storytellers say, "Come to Heshbon, let it be rebuilt. Let Sihon's city be restored. For fire burst out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the lord of Arnon's high places. Woe to you, Moab, you are destroyed, people of Chemosh. He let his sons be fugitives and his daughter captives of Sihon, king of the Amori. We shot them down. Heshbon is destroyed, all the way to Devon. We even laid waste to Nophah, which extends as far as Medvah." Thus Israel lived in the land of the Amori. Moshe sent men to reconnoiter Yazer. They captured its towns and drove out the Amori who were there. Then they turned and went up along the road to Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, marched out against them, he with all his people, to fight at Edrei. Adonai said to Moshe, "Don't be afraid of him, for I have handed him over to you with all his people and his land. You will treat him just as you did Sihon, king of the Amori, who lived at Heshbon." So they struck him down with his sons and all his people until there was no one left alive, and they took control of his land. Then the people of Israel traveled on and camped in the plains of Moab, beyond the Yarden River, opposite Jericho. Parashah 40, Balak, chapter 22 of Numbers, verse 2 to chapter 25, verse 9. Now Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amori. Moab was very afraid of the people because there were so many of them. Moab was overcome with dread because of the people of Israel. So Moab said to the leaders of Midian, "This horde will lick up everything around us, the way an ox licks up grass in the field." Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of Moab at that time. He sent messengers to Balaam, the son of Beor, at Petor by the Euphrates River in his native land, to tell him, "Listen, a people has come out of Egypt, spread over all the land and settled down next to me. Therefore, please come and curse this people for me, because they are stronger than I am. Maybe I will be able to strike them down and drive them out of the land, for I know that whomever you bless is in fact blessed, and whomever you curse is in fact cursed." The leaders of Moab and Midian left, taking with them the payment for divining, came to Balaam and spoke to him the words of Balak. He said to them, "Stay here tonight, and I will bring you back whatever answers Adonai said to them." He said to them, "Stay here tonight, and I will bring you back whatever answer Adonai tell me." So the princes of Moab stayed with Balaam. God came to Balaam and said, "Who are these men with you?" Balaam said to God, "Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent me this message. The people who came out of Egypt have spread over the land. Now come and curse them for me. Maybe I will be able to fight against them and drive them out." God answered Balaam, "You are not to go with them. You are not to curse the people, because they are blessed." Balaam got up in the morning and said to the princes of Balak, "Return to your own land, because Adonai refuses to give me permission to go with you." The princes of Moab got up, returned to Balak, and said, "Balaam refuses to come with us." Balak again sent princes, more of them and of higher status than the first group. They went to Balaam and said to him, "Here is what Balak, the son of Zippor, says. Please don't let anything keep you from coming to me. I will reward you very well, and whatever you say to me, I will do. So please come and curse this people for me." Balaam answered the servants of Balak, Even if Balak were to give me his palace filled with silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of Adonai my God to do anything, great or small. Now please, you too, stay here tonight, so that I may find out what else Adonai will say to me. God came to Balaam during the night and said to him, if the men have come to summon you, get up and go with them, but do only what I tell you. So Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the princes of Moab. But God's anger flared up because he went, and the angel of Adonai stationed himself on the path to bar his way. He was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. The donkey saw the angel of Adonai standing on the road, drawn sword in hand, so the donkey turned off the road into the field, and Balaam had to beat the donkey to get it back on the road. Then the angel of Adonai stood on the road, where it became narrow as it passed among the vineyards, and had stone walls on both sides. The donkey saw the angel of Adonai and pushed up against the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against the wall. So he beat it again. The angel of Adonai moved ahead and stood in a place so tight that there was no room to turn either right or left. Again, the donkey saw the angel of Adonai and lay down under Balaam, which made him so angry that he hit the donkey with his stick. But Adonai enabled the donkey to speak, and it said to Balaam, what have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times? Balaam said to the donkey, it's because you've been making a fool of me. I wish I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you on the spot. The donkey said to Balaam, I'm your donkey, right? You've ridden me all your life, right? Have I ever treated you like this before? No, he admitted. Then Adonai opened Balaam's eyes so that he could see the angel of Adonai standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and he bowed his head and fell on his face. The angel of Adonai said to him, why did you hit your donkey 3 times like that? I have come out here to bar your way because you are rushing to oppose me. The donkey saw me and turned aside these 3 times, and indeed, if she hadn't turned away from me, I would have killed you by now and saved it alive. Balaam said to the angel of Adonai, I have sinned. I didn't know that you were standing on the road to block me. Now, therefore, if what I am doing displeases you, I will go back. But the angel of Adonai said to Balaam, no, go on with the man, but you are to say only what I tell you to say. So Balaam went along with the princes of Balak. When Balak heard that Balaam had come, he went out to meet him in the city of Moab at the Arnon border in the farthest reaches of the territory. Balak said to Balaam, I sent more than once to summon you. Why didn't you come to me? Did you think I couldn't pay you enough? Balaam replied to Balak, here, I've come to you, but I have no power of my own to say anything. The word that God puts in my mouth is what I will say. Balaam went with Balak. When they arrived at Kiryat Hotzot, Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep, then sent to Balaam and the princes with him. In the morning, Balak took Balaam and brought him up to the high places of Baal. From there he could see a portion of the people. Balaam said to Balak, build me 7 altars here and prepare me 7 bulls and 7 rams here. Balak did as Balaam said. Then Balak and Balaam offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Balaam said to Balak, stand by your burnt offering while I go off. Maybe Adonai will come and meet me, and whatever he shows me, I will tell you. He went off to a bare hill. God met Balaam, who said to him, I prepared the 7 altars and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Then Adonai put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, go on back to Balak and speak as I tell you. He went back to him, and there, standing by his burnt offering, he, with all the princes of Moab, he made his pronouncement. Balak, the king of Moab, brings me from Aram, from the eastern hills, saying, come, curse Yaakov for me. Come and denounce Israel. How am I to curse those whom God has not cursed? How am I to denounce those whom Adonai has not denounced? From the top of the rocks I see them. From the hills I behold them. Yes, a people that will dwell alone and not think itself one of the nations. Who has counted the dust of Yaakov or numbered the ashes of Israel? May I die as the righteous die. May my end be like theirs. Balak said to Balaam, what have you done to me? To curse my enemies is why I brought you, and here you have totally blessed them. He answered, mustn't I take care to say what Adonai puts in my mouth? Balak said to him, all right, come with me to another place where you can see them. You will see only some of them, not all, but you can curse them for me from there. He took him through the field of Sophim to the top of the Pisgah range, built 7 altars, and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Balaam said to Balak, stand here by your burnt offering while I go over there for a meeting. Adonai met Balaam, put a word in his mouth, and said, go on back to Balak and speak as I tell you. He came to him and stood by his burnt offering with all the princes of Moab. Balak asked him, what did Adonai say? Then Balaam made his pronouncement. Get up, Balak, and listen. Turn your ears to me, son of Zippor. God is not a human who lies, or a mortal who changes his mind. When he says something, he will do it. When he makes a promise, he will fulfill it. Look, I am ordered to bless. When he blesses, I can't reverse it. No one has seen guilt in Yaakov or perceived perversity in Israel. Adonai their God is with them and acclaimed as king among them. God, who brought them out of Egypt, gives them the strength of a wild ox. Thus one can't put a spell on Yaakov. No magic will work against Israel. It can now be said of Yaakov and Israel, what is this that God has done? Here is a people rising up like a lioness. Like a lion, he rears himself up. He will not lie down till he eats up the prey and drinks the blood of the slain. Balak said to Balaam, obviously you won't curse them, but at least don't bless them. However, Balaam answered Balak, didn't I warn you that I must do everything Adonai says? Balak said to Balaam, come, I will take you now to another place. Maybe it will please God for you to curse them for me from there. Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, overlooking the desert. Balaam said to Balak, build me 7 altars here and prepare me 7 bulls and 7 rams. Balak did as Balaam said and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. When Balaam saw that it pleased Adonai to bless Israel, he didn't go, as the other times, to make use of divination, but looked out toward the desert. Balaam raised his eyes and saw Israel encamped tribe by tribe. Then the Spirit of God came upon him, and he made his pronouncement. This is the speech of Balaam, son of Beor, the speech of the man whose eyes have been opened, the speech of him who hears God's words, who sees what Shaddai sees, who has fallen yet has open eyes. How lovely are your tents, Yaakov, your encampments, Israel. They spread out like valleys, like gardens by the riverside, like succulent aloes planted by Adonai, like cedar trees next to the water. Water will flow from their branches. Their seed will have water aplenty. Their king will be higher than Agag, and his kingdom lifted high. God, who brought them out of Egypt, gives them the strength of a wild ox. They will devour the nations opposing them, break their bones, pierce them with their arrows. When they lie down, they crouch like a lion or like a lioness. Who dares to rouse it? Blessed be all who bless you. Cursed be all who curse you. Balak blazed with fury against Balaam. He struck his hands together and said to Balaam, I summoned you to curse my enemies, but here you have done nothing but bless them. 3 times already. Now you had better escape to your own place. I had planned to reward you very well, but now Adonai has deprived you of payment. Balaam answered Balak, didn't I tell the messengers you sent me that even if Balak would give me his palace full of silver and gold, I could not of my own accord go beyond the word of Adonai to do either good or bad? That what Adonai said is what I would say. But now that I am going back to my own people, come, I will warn you what this people will do to your people in the Acharit Hayamim. So he made his pronouncement. This is the speech of Bilam son of Beor, the speech of the man whose eyes have been opened, the speech of him who hears God's words, who knows what Elyon knows, who sees what Shaddai sees, who has fallen yet has open eyes. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not soon. A star will step forth from Yaakov. A scepter will rise from Israel to crush the corners of Moab and destroy all descendants of Shet. His enemies will be his possessions, Edom and Seir possessions. Israel will do valiantly. From Yaakov will come someone who will rule, and he will destroy what is left of the city. He saw Amalek and made this pronouncement. First among nations was Amalek, but destruction will be its end. He saw the Keni and made this pronouncement. Though your dwelling is firm, your nest set on rock, Cain will be wasted while captive to Ashur. Finally, he made this pronouncement. Oh no, who can live when God does this? But ships will come from the coast of Kittim to subdue Ashur and subdue Ever, but they too will come to destruction. And Bilam got up, left, and returned to his home, and Balak too went his way. Israel stayed at Shittim, and there the people began warring with the women of Moab. This woman invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, where the people ate and bowed down to their gods. With Israel, there's joined to Baal Peor, the anger of Adonai blazed up against Israel. Adonai said to Moshe, take all the chiefs of the people and hang them facing the sun before Adonai, so that the raging fury of Adonai will turn away from Israel. Moshe said to the judges of Israel, each of you is to put to death those in his tribe who have joined themselves to Baal Peor. Just then, in the sight of Moshe and the whole community of Israel, as they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting, a man from Israel came by, bringing to his family a woman from Midian. When Pinchas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aharon the Kohen, saw it, he got up from the middle of the crowd, took his spear in his hand, and pursued the man from Israel right into the inner part of the tent, where he thrust his spear through both of them, the man from Israel and the woman through her stomach. Thus was the plague among the people of Israel stopped. Nevertheless, 24,000 died in the plague.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaya olam nata betukenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has given us a Torah of truth and has planted eternal life in our midst. Blessed are you, O Lord, giver of the Torah. Amen.